If my life were a backpack book, the title would be Forced to Marry a Cold Billionaire Who Hates Love and Might Die Soon, Send Help. And yes, I am the main character unwillingly. Congratulations, and my mom said with fake tears in her eyes, you are about to be the wife of John Jungkook, the John Jungkook, CEO of the $10 billion tech empire, also known as emotionally bankrupt, terminally ill, and allergic to love. He sat across the table in his boring black suit, zero interest in me, drawing a fountain pen like he was signing away my soul. 3 months, he said, not even looking at me. You stayed in the house, you played away, then you leave. I will make sure your brother's debt vanish. The way he said it like I was disposable use vehicle. Yeah, that pissed me off. So I smiled. Fine, Mr. Dying Rich Guy, but if you make me cry, I will haunt you when you flatline. He blinked. Was that a smirk? I didn't want a wife. I wanted peace. But dying makes people around you panic. Lawyers, shareholders, they him. She will keep you vultures of you. They had said. You need someone who doesn't give a duck about your money. Someone unpredictable. So here she was, why, and the girl who called me Mr. Dying Rich Guy to my face and threatened to haunt me, cute, annoying, and exactly what I didn't ask for. Day one of being Mrs. Joe. And guess what? The mansion has a secret elevator and a koi pound in the bathroom. Like, bro, what? But the man is still emotionally frozen like Elsa. I walked into his home office just in his shirt and he said, Do you mind I'm working? Do you mind I'm bored and married? He didn't even look up. I stuck my tongue out at him and left. I explored more. The West Wing had a hidden art studio filled with half painted canvases, abstract wild strokes like someone had been screaming silently through colors. Didn't peg him as an artist, but then again, I didn't peg myself as the kind of a girl who had ended up fake married to a hard dying CEO. Later that night, I was looking for snacks. Found him in the kitchen without shirt and gray sweatpants, lightning them, hair messy. He was drinking orange juice straight from the curtain like a frat boy. You are gonna die, and your final act is double dipping OJ? I asked, stealing a banana. He turned slowly, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand. You are in my house, eating my banana. Our house. I have a wife privilege. He leaned in a little. You want privileges? My brain glazed. Don't test me, Jungkook. I am one unresolved trauma away from making this a wet. He blinked, smirked, and walked off, still drinking juice. He blinked, smirked, and walked off, still drinking orange juice. Later, I found him outside on the rooftop again, but this time painting under the moonlight. I didn't say anything, just sat beside him quiet. He didn't tell me to leave. That felt like a win. She was everywhere, touching things, asking questions, eating all the bananas, and somehow she wasn't exhausting. She made a noise in the silence I had built around myself, kicked the dust of things I hadn't touched in years, like my brushes, my sketchbook, even my playlist. Who listened to Arctic monkeys and cries while painting like a Victorian widow? She asked me, apparently. She saw me painting and didn't laugh, didn't compliment me either, just said, That blue looks angry, and peeled a Monday in next to me like we're childhood friends. She was messy, loud, honest, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like a ghost. 3 weeks in, I discovered something worse than Jungkook death schedule. His habit of making me feel things. Like tonight, he got into a stupid argument with Taehyung over security breaches. I rang and ended up with a busted lip. Found him in the hallway wiping blood on his sleeve like it was a paper towel ad. Let me clean that, I said, stepping into his space. I'm fine, he muttered, not even glancing at me. I grabbed his wrist. You are bleeding, dumbass, and your sleeve is white. Basic fashion logic. Don't ruin an expensive shirt for pride. He froze like I short circuited him. I dragged him by the hand into the guest bathroom, not ours, his, because it smelled like expensive soap and pride issues. I soaked a cotton pad and dabbed the cut gently. Up close, his lashes were stupidly long, like unfair level long. His breath hitched when my fingers brushed his cheekbone. You always play nurse for a bleeding man? He asked, eyes low. Nah, I replied, just for emotionally constipated CEOs who doesn't know how to lose an argument without throwing hands. He smiled, and then mid cotton pat swept his fingers gusted over my waist. Barely there, but there. I looked up. Our faces were so close I could smell his cologne, smoky vanilla, and rainy day heartbreak. If I won, he murmured, voice like gravel, I want to stop. I swallowed, then don't start unless you're gonna mean it. For a moment, either of us moved, and then he did. He slow rough like he's been holding back a hurricane, like he wanted to erase every boundary we had drawn since day one, like me was the only thing keeping him alive. I am back like I wasn't scared of drawing anymore. Like he wasn't the end of my story, but the middle of it. When we finally broke apart, we were both breathing like we had run a marathon. He leaned his forehead against mine, voice slow and rapt. You are dangerous. You're dramatic. He laughed, I smiled. But then, like a flipping a switch, he stepped back, walls back up. I should get some sleep, he said. Right, yeah, totally sleep. Humans do that. He nodded, walked out. I stood in the bathroom for 5 minutes just to make sure my knees still worked. Her, and I have never hated oxygen more than I did the second I pulled away. The second her were weren't on mine, the world felt colder again, like someone had undo on my entire nervous system. But I had to stop because this wasn't a love story. This was a slow motion crash, and I was the guy who was dying. I can't give her more. I can't let her hope. But she looked at me like I wasn't already fading, like I was worth staying up for, like I was worth saving. And that scared the hell out of me. Back in my room, I stared at the ceiling, trying not to remember the taste of her balm cherry with a hint of danger or how her eyes didn't flinch even when I touched her like a man on a fire. I tried to sleep, but all I saw was her hand on my wrist, holding me, still like I wasn't a ghost yet. Surprise, my fake marriage turned kind of real love story just got hijacked by a cyber criminal who apparently hates love and wants my men dead. Turns out being married to a terminally ill CEO wasn't dramatic enough. Now someone tried to hack his medical file and mess with his treatment dosage. No subtle, not cute. One minute he was sleeping in the recovery wing, wired up like a science fiction experiment. Next minute, alarm words screaming, nurses rushing in, and I was frozen at the door watching his heart monitor flatline. Zero beats. 8 whole seconds, I lost my shit. I didn't cry pretty, I screamed, jumped the rail, slammed my fist against his chest. Wake the duck up, Jungkook. You don't get to ghost me a big marriage. The nurse pulled me back. Team ran in with the two guards and pure panic in his face. They brought him back, barely, and when they wheeled me into the waiting room, I punched a wall and cracked a nail. Later, they slid into the seat beside me, tossing me a protein bar and looking like he hadn't slept in days. You were the only variable, he said quietly. You made him soft. That's why they moved now. They saw a crack. Soft, I whispered, blinking through exhaustion. He still yells when I microwave fish. Taehyung didn't laugh. You think this was an accident? Someone got access, someone inside? The hacker, the one who breached Jungkook's private file from a secure cloud server, not just any stalker. This was coordinated, calculated. You think they wanted him gone? I asked. No, they said grimly. They wanted you to watch. And I have never felt that cold in my life. Waking up felt like swimming up through black syrup. Everything hurt, but the moment I felt her fingers tangle with mine, warmth broke through the aesthetic. She was sobbing into my gown, voice all cracked and angry. You idiot, she cried. You said 3 months. I'm not done being your problem yet. I smiled barely. Did you cry for me, kitten? She punched my arm, weak but full of love. Don't flirt when you are half dead, John. But her hand never left mine. She held on all night. I drifted in and out of dreams, her voice echoing, her laugh cutting through the fog, her perfume soft and familiar, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was dying. I felt like maybe, just maybe, I still had something left to fight for. He didn't die. He ducking didn't die. Some miracle dropped him German hacker buddy tracked down landed in Korea, and 2 months later the bastard was back to eating dry toast and scowling at me like a death and being inconvenience, not a sentence. We left the city, moved into a beautiful, perfect penthouse in another city. He started doing weird husband things like learning how to make pancakes badly, play music while I showered, whispering, I miss you, even when I was the 2 rooms away. I caught him building a bookshelf one afternoon, shirtless, covered in sawdust, muttering curses words at IKEA, screws like they personally offended him. Need help? I asked, cleaning the doorway. IKEA is the devil, he grunted. This bookshelf is gaslighting me. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped my coffee. Later that night, we slow danced barefoot in the kitchen to some jazz song he randomly played from his vinyl. It wasn't perfect, the dishes were stacked, the storm was hitting hard outside, but the way he looked at me like I was the reason he still existed, yeah, that made up for everything.